Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast. We are breaking down chapter 58 today.
The title is, well, there is no title. Just the continuation of Sanji's past.
No title needed. This chapter speaks for itself. Oda knew that putting any words on the cover page would just get in the way of the emotional gut punch he was about to deliver. And it all comes down to one moment. We finally learn why Zeff has a peg leg, and it is so much more brutal and incredible than you could ever imagine.
It's a moment that redefines sacrifice in this series. We've seen sacrifice before, certainly. We saw Shanks give his arm for Luffy, but this is a different category. It's one of those foundational chapters that explains everything about a character in a single devastating reveal.
Absolutely. It's like Oda is handing us the key to Sanji's entire soul. If you're sticking with us through foundational moments like this because you know Oda's building something special, go ahead and follow the show. You're one of us. You're part of the crew that gets it.
We're picking up right where we left off. Sanji and Zeff, two survivors of a freak storm, are stranded on a barren, spire-like rock in the middle of a vast, uncaring ocean. They have 2 bags of food between them.
Or so we thought. And this is where the psychological torture begins, right from the jump. Zeff takes the massive sack, the one that looks like it could feed a man for a month, and he tosses this tiny, pathetic little bag to Sanji.
From Sanji's point of view, this is just insult to injury. This old pirate who he was just fighting with on the ship, and now he's hoarding all the food.
It's a deliberate act of misdirection, both on Zeff's part and on Oda's. He wants us, the readers, to be in Sanji's shoes, to feel that sense of injustice and resentment. Zeff can't explain the situation to Sanji because a child that young, faced with starvation, would likely not have the discipline to ration properly if he knew he was the only one with food. Zeff creates a lie to keep him alive.
It's the cruelest form of kindness. He makes himself the villain in Sanji's mind to save his life. So Sanji, this little kid, is meticulously trying to make his food last. He's rationing. He's counting the days. We see him looking at the sky, the sun beating down on him. We get to day 25, and all he has left is a piece of moldy bread. 25 days. That alone is a lifetime out there.
And in that time, he's seen one ship, just one, a distant speck on the horizon, and it sailed right past, completely oblivious to the 2 specks of life clinging to this rock. Can you even imagine that? The hope flooding your entire body. You'd be screaming, waving, using every last ounce of energy you have. It's salvation. And then just the emptiness, seeing that ship shrink until it disappears, having it not even notice you exist. That's a different kind of torture. It's the universe itself telling you that you don't matter.
It's the kind of thing that breaks a person. To be so close and yet so infinitely far. It's a very potent theme in the series, the vastness of the sea and how easily one can be lost in it. It explains the absolute desperation that comes next. Hope is a dangerous thing, and having it snatched away like that is often worse than having no hope at all.
For sure. Because we jump forward to day 70. 70 days. Let that sink in. Over 2 months on a rock with nothing. And Sanji is at his absolute limit. He's little more than a skeleton. He's weak. He's hallucinating. And he's looking over at Zeff, who hasn't moved from his spot, with that giant, still lumpy sack of food next to him.
The resentment that has been simmering for 70 days has now boiled over into murderous intent. He decides he's going to take it. He's going to kill Zeff if he has to. Survival has stripped everything else away. The boy who dreamed of the all blue is gone, replaced by a starving animal.
It's so raw. He stumbles over, pulls a grimy little kitchen knife. I mean, this is a kid, a kitchen chef, and he is ready to commit murder for a meal. The art here is just haunting. Sanji is all sharp angles and wild eyes. He's furious, screaming that Zeff was hiding all this food from him, that he doesn't care about the old man. He just wants to live. It's his villain origin story right here.
This is the law of the jungle, the dark side of being a pirate, or just being human when pushed to the absolute extreme. When there's nothing left, it's every man for himself. Sanji has reverted to that basic animalistic instinct to survive at any cost. And I think it's important that Oda shows us this. He shows us Sanji at his absolute worst, at the moment he was willing to kill for food. It makes his later philosophy so much more earned. He knows what the alternative is.
And then he cuts the bag open, that single panel, the knife slicing through the burlap, and what spills out isn't bread or meat or anything that can sustain life.
And it's not food. It's gold, jewels, treasure. It's all completely worthless out there, an entire fortune that can't buy you a single drop of water.
The look on Sanji's face, man, it's one of Oda's best. It's not relief, it's not anger, it's just pure blank confusion. His starving brain can't process it. Where's the food? He built this entire narrative in his head for 70 days about the selfish old pirate hoarding all the food, and the reality just shatters his entire worldview. He thought Zeff had this mountain of food. He turns to Zeff, probably to demand an explanation, and that's when he sees it. Zeff's leg is gone. Just gone.
The sequence of panels is masterful. Sanji's eyes go from the bag of treasure to Zeff's gaunt skeletal frame to the stump where his right leg should be. And then his gaze drifts to the small, now empty bag Zeff had given him. And in that silent moment, the horrific, beautiful truth crashes down on him.
Zeff gave him all the food, every last scrap, every single piece. The big bag was a decoy, a lie to keep a child's hope, however small, from dying completely.
And Zeff? Zeff ate his own leg.
Super. That is one of the most hardcore things in this entire story, and I don't think anything will ever top it for sheer, gritty willpower. Let's be clear, because some adaptations have handled this differently. In the manga, there's no convenient accident that takes his leg. No, he did it himself. To survive, so that a child he barely knew could have a chance.
It's a complete deconstruction of the pirate ideal. Zeff isn't a glorious warrior who lost his leg in a legendary battle against a rival. It wasn't taken from him. He gave it away. He sacrificed the very thing that made him a legendary pirate, Red Leg Zeff. His kicks were his identity, the source of his epithet, his fame, his strength. And he destroyed it, threw it away to give all the food to Sanji.
He mutilated himself. There's no other way to put it. It's an act of self-destruction for the sake of creation, the creation of a future for Sanji. It just completely reframes their entire dynamic. For 70 days, Sanji saw Zeff as this selfish, cruel pirate who left him with scraps. The reality is, Zeff performed one of the most profoundly selfless acts I've ever seen in fiction. He put Sanji's life above his own body, his own legacy, his very identity.
And when Sanji, weeping, crawls over and asks him why he did it, Zeff doesn't give a grand speech. He doesn't say it was the right thing to do or that he saw potential in the boy. He doesn't try to be a hero.
No, he says something that changes Sanji's life forever. Through chapped lips, barely able to speak, he says it's because he and Sanji have the same dream.
The all blue.
The all blue. That's the secret ingredient. Zeff, this legendary, hardened Grand Line pirate, the man who had seen it all, was chasing the same fairy tale sea that Sanji, the little apprentice cook, was. That's their connection. It wasn't just a random kid he saved from a shipwreck. In that moment back on the ship when Sanji declared his dream, Zeff saw himself. He saw the same fire, the same seemingly impossible goal.
This is the essence of inherited will, crystallized in a single moment. Zeff didn't save Sanji just to be a good person. He saved him because he saw his own dream reflected in the eyes of a child. It gives the sacrifice an even deeper layer. He wasn't just saving a life, he was preserving a dream. His dream.
And now Zeff can't do it anymore. The panel where he looks at his missing leg, the heartbreak is palpable. He tells Sanji his crew is gone, his leg is gone, his time as a pirate is over. His dream is dead. You feel the finality of that. He's given up.
But it's not truly dead. It's been transferred. He's looking right at its new vessel. He's looking at Sanji.
Exactly. He basically passes the torch. He says if if they get rescued, he's done with pirating. He's going to use all that worthless treasure to open a restaurant on the sea.
And you realize the Barati isn't just a retirement plan. It's not him settling. It's the only way Zeff can stay connected to his dream. He can no longer search for the All Blue, so he will build a place to feed those who travel the sea. He'll build a haven, a place where a cook who can find the All Blue might one day find his footing. It's a brilliant pivot.
He's creating a home base for the next generation, a lighthouse for wandering souls and hungry travelers. He's investing all his hope, everything he has left, into Sanji. He gave Sanji his food, he gave him his own leg in a way, and now he's giving him his dream. The debt Sanji feels isn't just for his life, it's for the weight of Zeff's entire existence.
It's the ultimate example of inherited will. Zeff's will to find the All Blue now lives inside Sanji, fused with his own. He's not cooking for himself anymore. He's cooking for both of them. Every dish he perfects, every kick he lands is a testament to the man who gave up everything for that shared dream.
And then the miracle happens after 85 days. 85 days. They are on the absolute brink of death. That ship Sanji saw all those weeks ago, it came back. They were saved.
It feels almost impossible. The chances of that are infinitesimal. It's a 1 in a million shot, but they made it. It's as if the world itself decided that a sacrifice that profound could not be made in vain. Fate intervened.
And we cut back to the present on the deck of the Barati. Don Krieg is ranting and raving, and suddenly everything Sanji has done this entire arc makes perfect, painful sense. His absolute, unshakable rule about never wasting food, his righteous fury at people who don't value a meal.
His refusal to let anyone, even his enemy, starve. We saw him feed Gin, a man who had just threatened everyone in the restaurant. At the time, it seemed like a strange, perhaps foolishly noble act. Now we understand it's a sacred principle born from trauma. He understands what that desperation feels like. He's been there. To deny food to a starving person would be to become the man he thought Zeff was on that rock. It would be a betrayal of the very sacrifice that saved him.
And his absolute ironclad devotion to Zeff, why he took that insane beating without fighting back, why he's standing up to the whole Krieg pirate armada now. It's not just loyalty to his boss or a mentor. Zeff is the man who sacrificed his leg and his dream for him. He is Sanji's creator in a very real sense. He gave him a second life.
The Barati isn't just a restaurant to Sanji. It is Zeff's new dream. It is the last treasure Zeff has. Sanji sees it as his sacred duty to protect it, and the man who built it, with his life. He is repaying an unpayable debt.
He says it right there. He won't let anyone kill Zeff or steal his last dream. He owes the man his life 10 times over. He's not just a cook, he's the guardian of Zeff's legacy. This whole flashback, man, it just elevates Sanji to a whole new level. He's not just the cool, girl-crazy chef anymore. He's a man forged in the fires of hell with a code of honor as unbreakable as sea stone.
It does. It gives him a depth and a motivation that is incredibly powerful. Every kick he lands from now on is on behalf of the man who gave up his own. The name Black Leg Sanji isn't just a cool epithet. It's a legacy. He is fighting with the strength of 2 legs, one of which is a phantom limb that Zeff sacrificed for him.
Speaking of weird things, Oda's author comment this week, it's a real head-scratcher after a chapter this heavy.
Oh, let me guess. Something culinary, but in the most bizarre way possible.
You nailed it. He said he put some beef jerky in orange jelly and it tasted like MSG and made him feel sick.
That sounds chemically unsound. I can't imagine a world where that texture and flavor combination would be pleasant. Beef jerky is savory, dry, and tough. Orange jelly is sweet, jiggly, and soft. It's a culinary war crime.
Right? It's like you write this incredibly moving, emotional masterpiece about the sanctity of food, about sacrifice, starvation, and survival. And then you go home and try to eat beef jerky and orange jelly. The man is a beautiful enigma. It's like he contains the highest highs of culinary philosophy and the lowest lows of snack experimentation.
I suppose even a master of storytelling can have a failure in the kitchen. It's grounding, in a way.
It reminds us that behind this epic tale is a person who makes questionable food choices, just like the rest of us. Perhaps he was trying to find a new texture.
Definitely grounding, but man, what a chapter to be attached to. The origin of Red Leg Zeff's new leg and the birth of Sanji's entire code of honor, all in one. This is the kind of chapter you point to when someone asks why One Piece is special.
It sets the stakes for this fight impossibly high. Don Krieg thinks he's just taking over a floating restaurant. He doesn't understand that he has trespassed on sacred ground. He isn't just fighting a cook. He's fighting against the weight of an 85-day ordeal and a life-altering sacrifice.
He has no idea what he just walked into. He thinks it's a restaurant. It's a fortress built on love, respect, and a shared dream. And he's about to get the boot, Sanji style.
If this chapter hit you in the feels as much as it did for us, drop a comment and let us know your favorite part of this flashback. We love reading through what moments resonated with everyone. Was it the reveal of the treasure? The moment Sanji understood about the leg? Let us know.
All right, let's get into what happens next. The flashback is over, the emotional stakes are set. Now the battle for the Baratie begins in earnest. Predictions for Chapter 59. You go first, Robin.
My first prediction is about Jin. He has been positioned as a man of honor, trapped by his loyalty to a dishonorable captain. He just listened to this entire story. He understands the sanctity of food and gratitude more than anyone else in Krieg's crew. I think hearing this story is going to be the breaking point for him. Don Krieg will order the final assault, perhaps targeting Zeff directly, and Jin won't be able to do it. I predict he'll openly refuse Don Krieg's order, creating a massive conflict within their own crew, and forcing him to choose between his life-saving debt to Sanji and his loyalty to Krieg.
Ooh, I love a good schism. That's a super prediction. Okay, my turn. Luffy's been listening to all this. He's been uncharacteristically quiet, just sitting there, taking it all in. He doesn't go for long, complicated emotional stuff, but he understands one thing perfectly. Someone is messing with his friend's family and his friend's dream. My prediction is Luffy gets up, dusts himself, cracks his knuckles, steps forward, points directly at Don Krieg, and just declares something simple and absolute. Like, this restaurant is my friend's treasure, so I'm gonna kick your ass. He's making this his fight, 100%. No more waiting.
That feels very likely. Luffy is a protector of dreams, and he just heard the origin story of 2 of them. For my second prediction, I'm thinking about Krieg himself. He is the thematic opposite of Zeff. He leads through fear, relies on weapons and deceit, and sees compassion as a flaw. He sees this display of emotion, of sacrifice, not as strength, but a profound weakness. I predict he'll openly mock Zeff for eating his own leg, calling him a fool. And he will specifically order an attack on Zeff, believing that breaking the old man is the fastest way to break Sanji's spirit. He will try to weaponize their love against them.
That's cold, but that is exactly what a dirtbag like Krieg would do. He'd see that ultimate sacrifice and just call it bad strategy. Okay, for my final prediction, I'm looking at the other cooks. They've been giving Sanji the hard time since the moment we met them. They see him as an arrogant, pretty boy chef. But they just heard the story of their restaurant's origin, the same as we did. They just found out the real reason their peg-legged old boss is the way he is. My prediction is they have a total change of heart. The bickering is over. They're going to grab their biggest meat cleavers and frying pans and stand shoulder to shoulder with Sanji and be ready to defend their home and their chef. The whole Baratie staff unites as a single fighting force.
The family coming together. I like that. It would show that Zeff's dream wasn't just passed to Sanji, but it created a home for all of them, whether they realize the full story or not.
Exactly. This chapter wasn't just for us and Sanji, it was for the whole restaurant. All right, that's all the time we have for today. What a chapter. What a story. Join us next time as we see if any of our predictions come true in Chapter 59.
Until then, may your will be inherited.
And may your snacks be better than beef jerky and orange jelly. See ya!